Alright, what up people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. That's right, it's Chiggy's wish list, where I talk to you about the players that I want Arsenal to sign this summer, in an ideal world. If we didn't have the chairman and the CEO and the owner that we have. But here we go. Let's get into this. Starting with my first player of the summer, and that is Hakim Ziyech. He is 26 years old, plays for Ajax as a attacking midfielder stroke winger. And this guy has had a really fantastic season this year. He's done everything that I would expect him to do. And, you know, he's really come to prominence a little bit the season before this one that's just gone. But last season in particular was where he rose to prominence, where Ajax had a really deep run in the Champions League. And a lot of that was due to him. Fantastic player, comfortable on both feet, but is predominantly a right footer. Plays a lot on the right wing, but can also play as a number 10. And is just an excellent player. I mean, you guys know I keep banging on about it every single chance I can get, because I think players of this caliber don't come by as often as we would like. And more to the point, a player who actually wouldn't mind coming to Arsenal. You know, I don't think we're not as much of a draw as we used to be for a lot of these players. So when you get a player of this caliber that says, actually, Arsenal represents one of my dream moves, and actually I would really like to go to Arsenal, and the idea that we're not snapping that up, we're not trying to make that happen, just seems mad to me. Particularly when you think about the fact that Arsenal need a winger. Arsenal need a winger. And the fact that we're not snapping Ziyech up is just crazy to me. Every time I think about it, it pisses me off. And we're talking about a guy who, you know, one of the criticisms of last year was the fact that we didn't get enough goals from everywhere on the pitch. And we're talking about a guy that's very comfortable making assists, but also very comfortable scoring goals wherever he's gone. So just to talk about the start of his career, you know, at Heerenveen, in 36 appearances, he scored 11 goals. Not terrible, considering that was over 2 years. And that was at the very start of his career. And he obviously moved to FC 20 in 2014, stayed there another 2 years, and scored 35 goals in 68 appearances. And then he's obviously since left there in 2016, joined Ajax, and in 91 appearances, he scored 49 goals. I mean, even on the international stage, he initially grew up playing for Netherlands, then converted over to Morocco, and in 25 appearances for Morocco, or 25 caps for Morocco, he scored 14 goals. So we're talking about someone that loves a goal. Apologies, I said he was a right footer earlier. Let me correct myself. He's predominantly a left footer, but very comfortable on each feet. He's someone who a lot of teams like, but not a lot of teams have made a move for. So that's why I'm a bit worried that he doesn't actually have this release clause that so many people seem to be saying that he does, because I would have thought by now someone would have moved for him. He can play as a central midfielder, an attacking midfielder, and a right midfielder. So the prospect of him playing central midfield actually is an intriguing one. Particularly when you look at what we've just lost out in Ramsey. I think the idea that he could potentially play in that position would be an interesting one. I think realistically, and I think I said this in an Eagle Eye episode before, if he was to come in, he'd probably be a replacement for someone like Mesut Ozil. And because I think Mesut Ozil's digging his heels in, he doesn't seem to want to go anywhere. I know that the chances of this are slim to none. Listen, I'm not deluded. I get it. They're slim to none, but I can dream. This is Chiggy's wish list. So He plays in a number of different positions. I had to get this little stat up as I was talking to you guys. So from the right-hand side, he scored 12 goals. 12 assists, 13 goals last year in 25 appearances. In Ramsey's position as a central midfielder, he still got a couple of goals and an assist. And the ratings for when he played in that position were still pretty high. On the right-hand side, his average rating was 8.53. As a central midfielder, his rating is 8.28. So that does give us an option as a deep light forward, as a right-sided forward. His rating actually dropped. And even then, it's still 6.96, which ain't the worst. Got himself a goal in that position as well. As a left midfielder, a left winger, his rating steps up a little bit to 7.01, but he only played there once, didn't get a goal, didn't get an assist. By the way, as a right-sided forward, he played there 4 times to get that single goal. And as a left-sided forward, he's played there once and his rating was 6.97. So we are talking about someone who is an excellent player. I mean, just to give you give you a few more ideas about his average and why I'm so high on him. In 39 appearances for a club last season, he scored 18 goals, 13 assists, with an average rating of 8.24. And man of the match 11 times last season. I mean, we are talking about someone who is highly skilled. And I know, deep down, don't get it twisted, that this guy is going to end up being at Liverpool. Because seemingly we are just not destined to get one of these players. Even when they are supposedly in our price range, we won't necessarily do what it takes to push the boat out and get these sort of caliber of players. And that's the disappointing thing as an Arsenal fan. I want to see us make more of an effort to try and get these guys, to try and secure them down. And, just to give you an idea of some of his attributes as well, his through balls are very strong. His key passes are excellent, as you can imagine. Crossing ability, long shots. How often have we said, I wish we had a free kick taker or someone who can take decent corners? Here is a guy that does them both perfectly. He's an excellent dribbler, excellent finisher, can hold on to the ball. He's a great passer. In fact, the only thing this motherfucker doesn't do well is tackling. So that's probably the one kind of drawback from playing him too often in Ramsey's position. You want your central midfielders to be able to tackle. Having said all that, maybe after a year or two, I might consider him in that position, because with Santi Cazorla, I never thought he was going to come in and be a good tackler, particularly the first year when he played. I never saw anything that indicated he'd be a good tackler, and he turned into an excellent tackler. Someone who I think can make an interesting impact. And I've always said, watching this guy's style, I don't think he's amazingly quick. I think he's got decent pace in him, but I don't think he's amazingly quick. So I actually think the older he gets, the more likely it'll be before he transitions back and possibly into a central midfield spot. And that's something that I can only see as being positive, because if he does do that, I imagine it would be for someone like Granit Xhaka, who is used at the moment as our number 8, as our Santi Cazorla, if you like, someone who could quarterback that ball. And we need someone who can just do that a little bit quicker, a little bit smoother, and has a little bit more variety. And I don't think you get much better than a Hakim Ziyech. At time that we are losing superstars and world-class players, this guy, in my view, is the definition of world-class, and someone we closely, badly need to be looking at. And he's gettable. By hook or by crook, somehow he's gettable. So please, Arsenal board, please sanction a deal for Hakim Ziyech. You guys let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. What do you think of this player? Do you think there's better out there? Let me ask you guys a question. Given that we've bidded for Wilfred Zaha at the time I've recorded this, who would you prefer, Zaha or him? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know your reasons why. If you like this video, please crush, please destroy, please drop kick that like button. You know I always appreciate when you guys do that, particularly when you break the 100 like mark. So it's really helpful when you guys do that. Also hit that subscribe button. I recently crossed 47. I am well on target for my target of 5k before the season starts, but only you guys can continue helping me get there. So make sure you do. I'll also be back on Thursday I'll be back on Wednesday with Eagle Eye anyway, but I'll be back on Thursday with Ola, the return of the Filthy Casual and Hardcore show, where me and Ola talk everything MMA and boxing, so don't forget to catch that. And I'll be back with another one of these next week, where I talk about my dream signings for Arsenal. Realistic signings, mind you, this summer. All right, I'm out of here. Take care. Peace.